like I said, you basically introduced us to the whole coke in both their system, and that there was a guy seen leaving the elevator. I didn't know none of that at all. So what are some things you were aware of?
I have the full medical report, and I have all the information that transpired. Like, originally, her family called for a wellness check on the 10th of September, and the police went. They knocked on the door, no answer. They left. Her mother called back on the 12th, but this time she was smarter, and she hit the management up and asked them to do a wellness check. They have the key. So they contacted the police. They came. They seen things taken out of her refrigerator. It was on the counter, which was odd, and that's what prompted them to look in her refrigerator and found her. I mean, they brutalized this girl, and they didn't even find a cause of death, official cause of death. That's why they use homicidal violence, because it was so much done to her, bound, gagged, and I mean, they had all kind of cords and her clothing wrapped around her neck. And I mean, I got pictures of not her face, but just a diagram of all the issues that she had going on her face, her back, blunt force trauma to all of her extremities, her torso. She was really beat up bad, and she was 5'5", 122 pounds. They didn't have to do all that. She wasn't pregnant. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what made her sister really tell us that, but she wasn't pregnant according to the autopsy. But here's something that I read, and this stuff is not allegedly, this is facts. So according to the reported information, the decedent, a 31-year-old black female, the decedent was last seen on surveillance footage at her apartment complex on Wednesday, September 6th, at an unknown time in the afternoon. On Thursday, September 7th, an unknown man is seen on a surveillance using the decedent's key fob to use the elevator. On Sunday, the 10th, the decedent's sister called Los Angeles Police Department Central requesting a welfare check. Officers arrived at a residence, knocked on the front door. No answer. They left. There was no signs of nefarious activity, so entry was not made. So on Tuesday, the 12th, which is the day they actually found her body, the decedent's mother had called requesting a welfare check, and officers from the Los Angeles Police Department Central responded and entered the locked and secured apartment using a management key. They observed food that belonged in a refrigerator on the kitchen counter. When they opened the refrigerator, they found the decedent inside unresponsive. On Tuesday, the 12th, September 12th, at 16:25 hours, Sergeant determined the death. And so that's pretty much how they found her body.
I love you, Miss V. I love Miss V.
Oh, I love you too. I heard on one video, all the news videos I listened to, only one video said this, but this is from the official report. The decedent lives in a residence by herself, and she moved there. She had just moved there in August, y'all. She just moved there, not even a month. As a matter of fact, she was supposed to be going to her old apartment to get the rest of her stuff, and she never showed up. So she moved on the 8th of August, and per surveillance video on September 5th, the decedent, another female and a male, was seen getting into the elevator, going up to the 5th floor, which is where she lived. They exit the floor and then exit. Per surveillance video, the decedent was last seen alive the 6th of September. She was last seen alive on one of the elevators on the 6th, and her vehicle also was issued a parking ticket that day. Per surveillance video on Thursday, September 7th, a male was seen using the decedent's key fob to use the elevator and then carrying plastic bags to the decedent's residence. Now, this is when she would have been deceased, you would think, unless she was still in there alive and being tortured. So on Saturday, that part of it was me talking, y'all. So on September the 9th, the decedent was supposed to go to her older residence to pick up the rest of her belongings, but she never arrived. On Sunday, the 10th of September is when the decedent's sister contacted the police, requested a wellness check. Officers arrived on the scene, knocked on the door. There was no answer and no entry was made and I'm just reading it because it's a little bit different. On Tuesday, 9/12, the decedent's mother called the management into the building requesting another welfare check. The management then called the Los Angeles Police Department. Officers arrived on the scene. The manager opened the door, the locked door, with their key, and officers entered. Now, the other one that I read wasn't that in depth, and that's why I'm reading it more. They looked around and did not locate the decedent. They didn't observe the food. Usually kept in the refrigerator, on the kitchen counter. They looked inside the refrigerator and found the decedent unresponsive on Tuesday, 9/12 at 16:25. One thing that I want to point out too is that if they would have went to her apartment on the 10th, they would have found her body the same day they found Nicole. It was 2 days later because they didn't go in her apartment the first day.
Exactly. Wow.
Yes, I also did a review of the apartment. I'm going to stop here, and if y'all want to know anything else, just go check it out on my page. I have a full playlist. I did reviews on the apartment. It ain't sweet. They had people rent those apartments as Airbnbs, and they had squatters in those apartments, although it was high-rise, beautiful, and paying thousands of dollars to live there. It's by Skid Row, y'all. Downtown LA is not safe.
Shout out to Peachy Tea Time for inviting me on her show on a segment where she was talking about Maleesa Mooney, and due to the things that I was typing in the chat, she wanted me to come up and explain what I knew. It was a pleasure going on Peachy's show during the interview she was doing with Jennifer Daniels. And I will be showcasing her business to let you guys know more about Jennifer Daniels. But thank you so much for tuning in. Please be sure to subscribe to Peachy Tea Time and also smash that like button. Please share this out and leave a comment and let me know what you think about what you heard in this video.